经过了短暂的休息以后呢，现在双方的第二场比赛要开始了。
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once more. Welcome back, that is, of course, to the Demacia Cup coverage brought to you by Gosu Gamers and Games in Asia. To get on the desk, I am Pyrotechnics, joined by Froskarin, and we are getting into game number 2 in just a moment between Wings of Aurora, once again, who beat a lot of people in the LSPL right now, sitting in third place, tied against all gamers who are not doing so hot dead last. That is kind of why we just saw that last game. Frosk, what do you think they need to do to get back into the action and force game number 3?
I've never seen a team beat themselves in champion select before, and that's literally exactly what happened. They need to rework their picks and ban fates. It's going to be harder because the counter pick, red side, is going to be available to Wings of Aurora.
Clearly you have never seen my team play. Anyways, yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup just because, once again, the winner plays OMG. And it might look like a total reversal after that, depending on how it goes. I don't know. At this point, Wings of Aurora definitely looks like the much stronger team, but they're not the only team in the Demacia Cup still. We have one more round of 32 match. Actually, not today, but coming up in a week. It'll actually be World Elite Academy taking on KX Happy, and then we get the start of the round of 16. After that, we actually have Invictus Gaming taking on Starhorn Royal Club, so two LPL teams matching off against one another. This is going to be a pretty good tournament, shaping up so far.
You can bet that I'm getting dibs on the IG Starhorn Royal Cup matches. I believe that same day it's Vici Gaming S is also playing, which I was
against
very...
Energy Pacemaker Carry, I think.
Exactly. I was very impressed last time I saw them.
Yeah, they played quite well, actually. So that was, I don't want to say entirely surprising, but, you know, with a lot of the LSPL teams not as well known, especially ones that are coming up after just forming with new members, mergers, things like that, it's kind of hard to tell where the relative skill lies. And a tournament like this definitely shakes a lot of that out. But speaking of relative skill, we've seen quite a lot of it on the side of Wings of Aurora, not so much on all gamers. And you're right, you mentioned the pick ban phase being completely wonky and just totally outpicking themselves right now. All gamers are going to have the blue side this time. What do they have to do different in this champion selection phase?
They can't let Lulu go through, or they have to secure it for themselves. Lulu was too high a priority pick. They focused Gragas Siggs, Gragas Siggs, Braum, Yasuo, Jax and Kale were both available to them, and they still ended up with Lissandra top. Like, what? So many high priority picks were on the board, and they banned Kog'Maw, which I think was kind of incorrect. Yes, you don't want these really skilled Chinese AD carries to get a hold of, you know, like a hyper carry like that, but I don't really see any point in banning out the AD carries. I think it needs to be primarily focused on those top lane picks, the Kale Jax, on the mid picks like Lulu. The fact that you would ban Ziggs but not take that one away is very questionable to me.
Yeah, they must have thought that Dream was actually deft in disguise. He did pretty well on Tristana, actually. Looked quite incredible, and he was able to aggressively rocket jump in and ensure the resets and get out in time. I'm surprised at how safe he was able to play considering his incredibly aggressive attitude. Part of it was a lot of peel on his team.
It was
but
really
that
good
seemed to work
balance
very
from their
well.
composition, definitely.
Yeah, really enjoyed watching that from Wings of Aurora. And, you know, maybe if they do go through in a similar fashion after this, maybe they can give OMG a run for their money. You know, they're not very high in the rankings for LSPL for nothing.
We've seen upsets before in the past, especially concerning OMG.
Something in your tone said just that you're doubting.
Maybe a little bit. Just, you know, I'll go back to the fact that this is LSPL, so this is technically the challenger circuit. I think that most of the people who watch this broadcast, though, are kind of like hardcore, like LPL fans, so I feel like I don't have to cater
We
too
love
much.
all you guys, by the way.
I feel like I don't have to, you know, like spell this out in crayon. Like, this is more so, you know, a master's thesis for this class. It's like the OGN versus the LCS broadcast, shots fired. But, you know, like the mechanical skill level. Yeah, we saw a lot of questionable, I'll call it questionable calls from either side. Obviously, Wings of Aurora firing on a little bit more cylinders, but that said, they still fumbled, especially in the early game. Not as much as all gamers, of course, but, you know, there were some couple dropped calls, missed positionings. But then you see things like that insect into the Cinder Stun. Like, all gamers pulled that off flawlessly, and it just, I'll continuously hammer this away. China, largest region in the world, has 20 servers. So just to do some like quick math on that, if you have 20 servers, all of the challenger teams, that's like 1,000 challenger teams in just the Chinese region alone. Their player base is huge. They're very talented player base, very isolated. It's a huge conversation that most of the Western world is missing as far as League of Legends in general. But here we are, picks and bans. It's going to be all gamers this side on the blue side. Wings of Aurora on your red side this time around. Cassid and Ziggs being banned away again. Obviously, do not want that Kog'Maw to go through either.
Yeah, that's happening again. So all gamers sticking with their guns this time for the time being, but they will get the first pickup, so at least something should get through that they are going to want to pick up. Seemed a little lost in the last pick and ban phase. What do they do this time? Wings of Aurora taking their time, deciding what they want to ban away. Looks like it's going to be Braum.
I have a feeling that Wings of Aurora is going to last ban Lulu, and it's going to be a first pickup of Jax. This is going to be my.
Guessing that's probably going to happen.
This is going to be my prediction.
Yodo played pretty well on that Jax the last time, although to be fair, he had a lot of help. Leva focused his lane. Yeah, well, yeah, okay, that's interesting. So this opens up a lot of possibilities now for Wings of Aurora to ban. Do they get rid of the Jax? I think Gragas was banned away last time, and Shyvana left on the table. Looks like it's going to be Yasuo.
They don't have to ban the Jax just because Kale and Jax are both available, but it looks like it's going to be the Gragas pickup, which means that if Wings of Aurora has been paying attention to OGN, they should pick Mundo here.
Yeah, that definitely has proven to be a pretty good way to out-sustain the
or
barrels.
you could just like completely smash his face and pick Jax or Kale.
Yeah, that's still on the table. I mean, it's definitely an option in the later game, but Gragas has proven to be a pretty nice early pickup. However, I'm not sure if they go for the 1v1 in this situation, just because Wings of Aurora went for the lane swap last time. They have already gotten Thresh, and they have the option now to make the change up. Whoa, okay, last second changeover to Jarvan. So prioritizing the jungle pickup since the top lane's still available.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. There's no reason that Jax is going to show just because they know it's Gragas, so they're free to pick up that Jarvan jungle. No need to pick him up quite this time around. That said, Wings of Aurora literally getting exactly what they want. No, they didn't play Thresh last game, they played Leona, but none of the bans really. The only ban that affected them was the Lulu ban. The Gragas got picked away necessarily, but we didn't see that. You know, they won the game last time without him, so they haven't been, what's the word, stopped? Inebriated?
Yeah, that's definitely the word. And now they go for the Lucian pickup, so Flurry going to get to play that this time, and then the Morgana lock-in pretty much says, all right, we're going to be able to deal with you 2v2. So that means that all gamers want to go for the 2v2 lane, but I still think Wings of Aurora are even more incentive now to try and go for the lane swap. Once again, Dream going to be rocking Tristana.
And again, looking for that counter pick on the red side, making sure that their mid isn't shown quite yet. Again, cannot emphasize this enough, they're literally getting every single champion that they want. There has been no picks and bans that have stalled them out. If Dream wants the Tristana again, he's going to get it, but it looks like instead they are going to go ahead and pick the Orianna. They don't want to lose an AoE utility mage now that Lulu and Ziggs are off the table.
Yeah, with the Orianna pickup too, it's definitely very safe. Nice transition as well. They have a lot of wombo combo possibility between Leva and Yoto, because of the gap closers that both Jax and Jarvan possess. They also have other options, too. So they leave the Tristana pick for last, probably going to be rocking that again. And once again, XMM wanting to pick up Syndra, so they have a double AP technically, although Gragas, of course, more of a bruiser. This time we'll see Cat on Skarner, which has been a popular pickup, in particular in the LPL as of late. But I can't help but thinking that this is still a very weak composition, especially come the later ends of the game, where Wings of Aurora have proven already to shine.
There are two massive things wrong with this composition, just to pick on all gamers a little bit. The Syndra pick, no, it is not a wild growth this time around, but Orianna is still relatively tanky, more so than other AP mids, just because of how her E works and getting her shield. Is there potential to burst? Yes, but he's gonna still have to get kind of the foot over her before he can do that. Again, bringing that shield. The other issue is that Skarner works really well in LPL, but in movement speed compositions. He works really well with Lulu, he works really well with Orianna because he has that dissonance, he has that whimsy to speed him up, to get him into position. Obviously a very low range. Once he gets a hold of you, you know, it's impossible to get away from him. They do have the long range Syndra stun, but when this map gets open, we saw a lot of towers go down very early. I believe it was, what, a 20-minute inhibitor or 25-minute game, so a lot of wide open space. If you don't have some sort of movement speed to affect Skarner, he can't really chase anyone down.
Yeah, it's kind of a
Especially against,
strange mix-up of compositions.
The Buster Shot, the rocket jump, it should be impossible for him to get even near Dream. You
Well,
have
and
the
it seems like they're
dissonance from
playing comfort
Orianna.
picks. It's really odd the way that they're combining the champions.
It's a little questionable. That said, I mean, otherwise they have good damage threats across the team. Again, going for a double AP composition. They brought Lucian again. I talked about how I don't necessarily like Lucian in the context of a double AP team. I feel you need to bring more AD damage. But is their their jungler Skarner, so they don't even have the AD damage from their jungler. So they have all 4 sets of AP damage. Morgana,
yeah, including
Skarner,
Morgana.
Syndra, and Gragas with Lucian.
This, I think, is a no-brainer for Wings of Aurora to just build a fair amount of MR and kite away from the Lucian if they can. And they want to go for the lane swap. However, even if they do it and then All Gamers tries to swap back, that still puts them once again in the driver's seat just because they're going to lose a lot. Do you think All Gamers predicts this, or are they just going to go, all right, guys, we're just going to try and play Team Deathmatch?
At this point, I have to assume that they have no idea what they're doing. Literally, if they, the item that's going to be built is Banshee Veil, and it should be built because A, you're against a Skarner, B, you're against a long-range Cinder Stun, Gragas Cask. Like, think of how much Banshee Veil
And
denies.
a lot of AP.
It's an incredibly, like you said, cost-effective item. Oh, they're against a lot of AP. If this game stalls out at all, that item completely turns the tides for Wings of Aurora. You talk about the power spikes for Wings of Aurora. Their late game, oh my goodness, they have Orianna, Tristana, and Jax for a late game. The mid game is very strong as well. Ori, huge power spike right there. Depends on how Yoda's going to do kind of when Jax starts picking up and gets going. Obviously an item-dependent champion, so, you know, however quickly he can get those items out is when he becomes Jax, but...
He was able to beat Jax without the items, too. Pretty good early game the last time he played him. And once again, Levon Jarvan. This is going to be a bit of a early invade. Getting some deep wards down on the side of Wings of Aurora. And this is a level 1. This is where All Gamers should shine. This is where they should be able to take fights at any stage of the game, and they're scared to do it.
Far forward Dream is.
What is he doing? DGG looking to get in the business of Wings of Aurora. They're actually going to lock up Yodo. This could be first blood, but they're going to disengage from this one. Flurry, not sure if he wants to go an XMM around the side now. They've got Zhao. They might get the lockup here. Level 1 Counter-Strike, and Ignite goes down onto Yodo. Wings of Aurora are trying to retreat out of this one, flashing forward, and they lock up Dream on a Darkbind max range. They might be able to get him down. He burns his flash to get away. Not a lot of damage being dealt right now. Sentry tanking up with shots. I guess he's the one who's going to end up getting the first blood, giving him over to All Gamers. So they do get something out of it. A lot of ultimates, a lot of summoner spells flashed for and used in this early game.
That was a great call by All Gamers, probably their first of the set right now. They realized that the invade was going to come in. Normally, I mean, obviously Wings of Aurora wasn't expecting them to be there. They thought it was going to be either a blue buff swap, or it was going to be the start red buff, because obviously the lane swap's going to come in because it's Tristana. They stood in the bush, they camped his 5, they found the picks that they wanted, and this is the power spike and kind of the snowball that Syndra needs over Orianna to burst through that E. So this is where they want to be. It's looking much better already out of the gate than it did last time. They found the 2v2.
And the double lane swap.
Exactly,
Yeah, so
they found Flurry where he needs to be. Can they capitalize on it?
So far, Wings played a little overconfidently there. Now, Flurry might get locked up on this one. He doesn't have his support with him, as for some reason DGG hanging out on that bot side to help Cat out with the buffs. They're both purple champions. They're sticking together for the time being. XMM is hanging around the mid side, but now we have finally DGG coming back to help out this Lucian. But Flurry will get the solo experience gain just for a moment, but he's got to be careful not to get 2v1 by Dream and Sentry, as we saw evidently last game.
I would like to see more roaming from DGG. Obviously, Orianna. Morgana, very good at that. The fact that Flurry is on Lucian, yeah, he has the possibility of getting 2v1, but it's very hard to beat a Lucian in lane. He's pretty much kind of the 2v1 king, obviously, with his relentless pursuit, with his ability to push creeps and poke you at the same time with piercing light. It's a very safe lane for him if he wants to sit up with Tristana. Oh god, that damage in the bot lane from Yodo.
Yodo! Zhao is pretty low on that. He has to barrel roll to force him away for the time being. But yeah, you see this. This is when Gragas shines and Jax doesn't, and he's still getting beaten back. Night and day, the way that these top laners, I guess they're now bottom laners, have been playing against one another. Yodo, very aggressive in the early game, and he's working out quite well. Now in the top, you see they're getting pushed in, but they're going to be able to get away.
To be fair, Gragas needs levels before he's useful. So his big strong point is kind of level 9, but now in the top lane,
And here
Cat
comes
looking at
Cat.
Sentry.
Double buffs, wanting to try and find this one. It looks like they're going to miss on the Dark Bind, but Flurry's going to come in. A little bit more damage being dealt by that Lucian, and they avoid Dream entirely. That is a nice disengage, however, from Aurora. Wings now looking to come into the bot side. Yeah, he's going to go for Zhao. They should be able to dive this or at least force him away for just a moment. He is sustaining up. Not sure if he wants it for the time being, but they have it if they do want to go in.
He's looking for the mini golems. I can't quite tell if they're available. Obviously, I can't switch the... Okay, yeah, so they are. It's only just the one. I was going to say, they could be trying to stack the wave to look for a dive. That'd be very sketch against a Gragas. You have to think he's very tanky with his W. Obviously, his base stats as well. He has a lot of CC, a lot of ability to lock him up, which... Very smart. I'm glad that Wings backed away from that. Even with the Jax, even with the Flag and Drag, I don't think that that would be a good call. But now looking at the mid lane, but both junglers are sitting in the Wings.
Yeah, speaking of the Wings now, looks like Leva's going to be going in for the first move. XMM has some more damage onto Mordred, but Orianna staying safe. Cat shows, and they don't want to engage on that one. So Wings playing a much more conservative early game, and that's exactly what they need to do. All Gamers has the impetus to make the first move. They have to do something here. And now Zhao trying to aggress onto Yodo. Will trade a little bit of damage in the top lane. Pretty much the same thing happening, and this game might just stall out for a minute. But now Mordred on the wrong side of the tower. XMM and Cat are chasing him, but he's able to get away through the river.
From the top lane, there was actually
a Dream
1v1 kill from Dream right there.
I thought that was going to turn out quite differently than it ended up, but DGG goes down. He'll be back up in just a minute, but that was a nice aggressive maneuver from Dream.
I have to assume that Hook just found him into the tower since they were that pushed up. Obviously, the camera guy didn't look that way.
You were just mean to the obs tonight.
This guy, I don't know what he's looking at, what he's doing. He's like texting, but sometimes, you know, that's what the second.
Don't text an obs. This is a public safety announcement from the LPL English broadcast crew, guys. So Cat now getting himself a little bit of farm, steals it away from Leva as a Wraith camp looking so juicy for him, but he's not really been able to find much else this game. Tried to go top, couldn't quite get a gank off of that one. XMM now pushing up towards this mid. It's actually looking like a better matchup now for All Gamers in the mid side, but they still have scaling on their side. The Wings are just able to sustain throughout most of these fights. And they have a slight gold lead in their favor, too. Small, but it's there.
I will take this from Faker and Cool and say that Syndra should win this matchup. Excuse me, I guess I should take it from Faker and Xiang. I know that... I think... Did Cool play this matchup? I know he played Orianna at one point. Nah, but I'm going to take Xiang and Faker. I talked about how Orianna is harder to burst for Syndra just because of her E. She needs to be ahead before she can 100 to 0 her, but she can definitely still bully Ori. That said, All Gamers now looking for the early dragon. They made the rotation from the top to the bottom with a numbers advantage before Wings of Aurora, although I feel like Wings of Aurora has kind of an inkling that this is going on. Lantern being dropped down, kind of scouting for this.
Now they're just going to get the timer on that one, and now Sentry looking to go in for this, but he can't get anywhere near DGG, who just hasn't been able to actually land many of these. Uh-oh, here we go. The teleport is coming in right now. Sentry taking up a lot. Yodo, that's the job done. The shockwave's going to land on a Cat only, but it's enough to pick the kill up. DGG now trying to kite away from Sentry, but he won't be able to do it. Dream mops him up. That was looking fantastic for Wings of Aurora, even if they gave up the dragon. Pretty much the same situation as happened last time. Teleport comes in, they stay too long, and All Gamers just get a few members bursted down by the collapse.
Wings very good at collapsing, covering their flanks. That was a fantastic shockwave from Mordred. The fact that he used himself as his ball delivery service and didn't have to expend any extra mana and using the command shock, because he was actually really low mana when that fight started. He literally just walked in and pressed R with the ball on top of himself to pick that kill up. So very smart.
Rarely see that happen, actually.
It was just, again, we talk about kind of the mechanical aptitude of these players. Even at, I'm not going to say like this low of a level, because obviously, you know, LSPL has a reputation. Some people think that they're better than a lot of the LPL teams.
Yeah, it's not a lot of regions you can say that about, to be honest with you. People typically will look at the, you know, the Challenger series of the world and say, oh, they're not nearly as good as the pro level, but LSPL has a pretty large bracket size.
Well, I feel like the LSPL is much closer suited to not like the NACS, but more so the NLB.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of more of that relationship
teams,
with their...
They didn't quite make it.
Exactly. And of course, both leagues are going to be expanding. I think it's next season. LPL is going to be expanding to 16. It's either 12 or 16 teams. LSPL is also going to be expanding, as well as flooding more money into the the league. Obviously trying to attract better players, create more of a structure for players to look at this as a vital, not a vital, but a viable career choice and path, trying to increase the skill level of China across the board.
Yeah,
More
should
incentive.
allow a little more incentive for more talent to be flowing, and just not from the player base, and just not just from the player base, but also at coaching level. We've talked about a lot of the import level as well, but we'll go in just a minute because Zhao nearly gets taken down by Yodo.
Yeah, Tencent is actually subsidizing foreign coaches to come into China.
Yeah, they really want to jump up that level of competition. That's actually where we've seen a lot more of the impact, too. Not just, you talk about the Korean players coming in and making an impact, it's really more of the coaching staff that have done this.
Zhao playing with fire
boy.
right there.
Please, that was so close, and Yodo did not want to dive onto that one as he'd already spent his leap strike away. But he's looking pretty good right now. Kept up with the Scroggison farm as a melee. This is...
He's trying to bait. What he's doing is you actually say, oh, but there's the cask.
Yep, that was quite a lot, but he goes in and avoids the barrel. Cat's going to get the lockup. Zhao staying alive, has to burn his flash. Yodo going forward for him. He can't get stopped there, and he might be able to get away. Leap strikes away to juke out Skarner, and he survives. Meanwhile, on the bot, DGG picks a kill onto Century, and Flurry nearly gets ignited, but Dream doesn't quite pick him up in the end.
Dream, no fear here. Is looking for the dive. Oh no.
Yeah, they're going to make this a 2v2. Now Dream actually getting chased away. Might get locked up. Darkbind up in just a moment. Leva flashing forward. Flurry, he's going to go down. Tower shot being taken. The teleport now coming in. And Zhao looking to make a move. Dream has nowhere to go. He's not got the rocket jump just yet. Leva actually flashes away from his own Cataclysm. He's going to go down here. Red buff looking tasty. Can Zhao mop it up? One more will do it. Oh my goodness, he gets kited out. I can't believe the Flag and Dragon. Zhao fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. No kill for the fat man.
Blue Suede Shoes, fantastic play from Leva right there. Obviously, he flashed out of his own Cataclysm. He was just trying to stall Zhao, because obviously Tristana spent her rocket jump before the teleport came in, so she didn't have that cooldown available to make her great escape. She goes up. He drops the Cataclysm to stall Gragas from getting to his carry, flashes out of it, and then jukes with the Flag and Drag. That was fantastic.
That was amazing play from Aurora, and I could not believe that kill didn't end up landing. Zhao's going to be kicking himself right now.
He straight up got outplayed, and it wasn't even on just like a macro or a micro level. It was on a macro level. He completely juked him, and I can't say the word that I want to say, but he kind of blew his mind.
Yeah, that pretty much happened right there. So definitely showcasing the relative skill differential between these two teams. And once again, Wings of Aurora find themselves in not quite a comfortable lead, but they are making the better plays, and they do have time on their side.
Which is, I actually want to go back and touch that play top, because I think it really kind of speaks to all gamers. You can see it in their mind that the cogs are working. What they wanted to do is they wanted to bait Yodo into a dive, or at least near the tower, and they wanted Zhao to pop the cask, knock him back into the tower, and then have Cat flash out from behind tower with the impale, and utilize Tower, Skarner, and Gragas to take him down. They just got impatient. They didn't stack their ultimates correctly, but you can tell that that's what they're thinking about doing. It's just not coming together as far as communication, as far as mechanical ability.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to string the abilities together. And you do see the strategic minds kind of coming together a little bit there. It just, yeah, right, it has all been down to execution.
You can tell that the light is on.
The light is on, and people are home. They're just trying to wake up a little bit. Oh, look at this chase. Mordred might get caught up by Zhao. He has a flash available, and he uses it to avoid the explosive cast. Cat was a little bit on the backside, couldn't quite follow up. They're trying. They really are. They did spend a summoner there. That was nicely done, exchanging for one ultimate out of Gragas, who will come up a lot sooner. Now, Dragon, speaking of coming up pretty soon, 25 seconds on the clock for that one, and all gamers looking to try and muscle this one away. However, bot tower fallen, pressure, and map control on the side of Aurora in this bot lane.
And it's only going to get worse. The things that I want to talk about right now is, yes, we've seen a lot of Zhao. He's, like you said, trying to get involved with this team, trying to get involved in the jungle, trying to get involved in the bot lane. That said, look at the CS difference in the top lane. That is 82 to 93. That's not where you want Jax to be. They've done nothing to slow down Jax. We saw last game.
Look at the bot lane. That is a 30 CS differential right there.
Well, yeah, but that's 3-1-0. He's already, that's gone.
Yeah, but that's a Tristana versus a Lucian too. I mean, they got to be worried about that. Whoa, Leva nearly gets dark bound. This is going to be all gamers looking to try and poke down this dragon, but they remember all too well what happened the last time, so they back away from this one. Sentry was chasing them out, and now Leva's half health here. Sentry and Dream looking to try and catch something. The ultimate gets spent from Sentry, not enough to burst Leva down. He's still alive in this, but this is going to be the start of the dragon for all gamers. Should be able to pick this one up uncontested.
So they do. I believe they got the first dragon last game as well.
And they also got the first dragon this game. This is the second one. They do pay for it the first time. This time, not so much, although I'm sure XMM would have been happier with a kill.
Well, they are paying for it just because they're trading the top global tower for the dragon, but they also pick up a sweet blue buff there, so that's going to hurt Ori. Obviously, she's a very blue-dependent mid laner. It's kind of a 1-2 punch, a little bit of a bright side. The game's still relatively close, so it's not as out of control as it was last game, but you have to think, where is the gold spread actually on either team? Like you said, Tristana 3-0-1 has that 30 CS advantage. It's not where you want the gold if you're on all gamers, whereas on the other side, their kills are split between Syndra and Morgana.
Whoa, DGG, nice juking away, but his health bar is dropping way too quick for that one. Flurry tries to call out Dream and Sentry, not able to finish that one up, and it's another kill for this hyper carry Trist. Cat now nearly gets his blue buff stolen away by Mordred, but they don't time it quite correctly. Meanwhile, now they'll be moving towards the mid. The Cataclysm comes in. XMM, he has to flash out of that one, and he's on the wrong side of this map. Leva chasing him away, but he's getting turned around. There's a Cinder ult, and that's the burst down. XMM finds it. The command shockwave doesn't connect. Mordred now dueling it out with XMM. Health bar might be in his favor, but he nearly goes down, and the minions might finish the job. There's a shield. Nice save, but whoa, XMM nearly made the plays. Sentry now finding Zhao and Yodo on the other side. It's a 3v1. The ult's coming in. He doesn't finish it up, and he flashes and burns it for nothing. Dream mops him up, and it's a 5-0 Trist. And you can hear the Chinese casters freaking out. The mics are staticky over there.
Yodo get locked up, though, with the Impale.
Uh-oh, he's going to jump away. That's a Dark Binding, though, means he can't really do much else. Apparently, you can still jump when the Dark Binding lands. But only for a second.
It's
Dream.
It's pretty awkward. So they tried to make something happen off of the numbers advantage, look for the tower. All gamers, I will give them the credit, they made the correct rotation to protect their mid-tier tower, so they're not going to lose any objectives off of that fight. I want to talk about the mechanical misstep for Mordred. Obviously, he missed the command shockwave. That's the big one right there. But even worse, and the thing that almost spelled his doom as the minions were killing him, is he actually walked away from his ball. And you have to think that Orianna's shield, like, she's a champion about spacing because it's about how quickly, the closer you are to your ball, the faster that thing will move and get to the point that it needs to be. So it's very much about, you know, correctly making sure that you're safe, but at the same time, you're still getting off your attacks fast enough because you're standing close enough. She almost killed herself because she was running away from her ball because she was trying to run away from the targetable minion shots. I think I would have laughed to death. Obviously, what she needed to do was walk towards the ball, but now the Cataclysm going down.
Yep, XMM, he finds himself locked up, not got the flash away just yet, but he's fine to duel it out with Leva, who has to take a lantern back to safety. Mordred gets Dark Binding up, and All Gamers is actually disengaging much better this game. I think their comp works a lot better to it. XMM not so far behind as he was. And yeah, talk about Mordred. This guy is so lucky he hasn't gone down. At least 2 have been so many close calls, and All Gamers have got to be just thinking, really, we can't take this one down, but they are looking a lot better now.
Oh, definitely. I like that you talked about the disengage, too. I feel that Syndra, a lot of people think about her as, you know, the kind of that hard 1v1 burst damage, the assassin, but she's actually really good at disengaging just because of how long range her stun is. And it's kind of a really unique tool that you see in China that you don't necessarily see in a lot of other regions. I think that she does really well with supports like Morgana, like Nami, because of their disengage potential together. So it's very exciting to see this work out for them.
It's an AoE stun, too. It definitely helps if they clump up all together.
It's just
Leva
so long.
enabling that.
Anyone chasing you, just drop that back. It's almost like a trundle pillar.
Yeah.
Like
well,
you
and you think about it, too. XMM is extremely good at these dueling scenarios, and you've seen twice now that Leva has gone in on a Cataclysm, and he's just like, all right, bro, bring it, fight me in the cage. And he's had to take the Lantern to safety out of his own Cataclysm. That's not promising.
You've seen Watchmen, yes?
Yes.
You know, when
quite a few times, actually.
is in prison and he makes a statement, you know, I'm
yeah,
not...
you're trapped in here with me.
Exactly.
God, that is the scariest Ginger I've ever seen in my life.
Well, that's literally what XMM just said to Leva. And then
Yeah.
dropped his ult on him. Which
Can we have a Rorschach XMM skin? I mean, XMM Cinder skin.
Let me get the soundboard in here every time.
All right, we're making this happen, guys. Welcome back to the Demacia Cup, and here's Flurry getting jumped on by Dream. Half his health bar gone in the blink of an eye. More than that, as the Dragon now starting to be another viable option in a minute and a half. Cat and XMM cleaning up waves in the mid side. The game is sort of reset, but they have to be extremely careful not to drop champions against Aurora, as this will mean another easy objective. The lead of gold is about 3K right now, and All Gamers are maintaining, but they have to be extremely careful here.
There's I feel like both teams are lost Obviously, they're looking. Oh, but the flash now.
Oh, DGG. Command Shockwave going to come in, but the Black Shield absorbs most of it. Teleport coming in on the other side. Yodo looking to make a play here. He's going to get the jump off onto DGG. Counter-Strike coming in, and that is Morgana saying sayonara for now. Back to Fountain. Leaving now, and XMM dueling it out. Cat's going to get mopped up by Mortrid on the outside, and this is looking amazing right now for Aurora as they find the perfect engage. XMM, Buster shots away, ticks him down as Dream manages to secure the ace for his team. Or not quite, Lucian's down on the bottom, but this is not going to be a Baron. They thought about it for just a second and say, wait a minute, we have towers to take.
That flash before their eyes. I think it would have been a free Baron. Obviously, you have Jax with Tristana. That Baron will fall very quickly. Jax doesn't have
so will these towers.
He doesn't. Yeah, so will the towers. He doesn't have the Cutlass available to him, so I like the priority of the towers over the Baron, but I feel like it was either or was a viable option. I don't think there was anything that all gamers could have done to stall them out. But obviously, you know, trying to siege against the Coaling, trying to siege against the long-range Cinder Stun, the Gragas clear, I think that this was a very smart call, recognizing their anti-siege is down, we can take these towers now.
And they're going to get the Dragon, comes right back up, and now you can see Flurry trying to hastily get out of here. He might get collapsed on, but they're more interested in the Dragon on Aurora's side, so
at this point,
it's
worth more
grabbed
gold.
Both. Yeah, that's true. Wow. Oh, man. Mortrid wasn't even moving, and DGG didn't land the Dark Bind. Not good there. Oh, the smite! He gets missed, but they take it anyways. And there goes Skarner. Cat does not have anything left in the tank. Yodo and DGG, he is so low. Morgana getting once again taken down. Nice command Shockwave. Yodo's going to pick up that kill. He's getting pretty dangerously low as well. And gets bursted down. That's XMM picking the kill. Leva now, he's getting chased out. Body Slam going to land with the flash, and Xiao Flurry chasing him on, but the hook comes back in. Mortrid, he's looking for a kill. Sentry now face tanking the rest of the members of All Gamers. He's going to go down. Flurry picking up that kill. Explosive Cast comes out. Mortrid gets bursted down. That's a Syndra ult, and it's Flurry mopping up the kill. How did this happen? Wings of Aurora having to Buster shot away. Dream might get taken down here, and he does. It's Flurry with the kill.
One after the other, Wings of Aurora were looking so good, and then they decide to just suicide. I can't believe that XMM held onto the Syndra ultimate for as long as it did. I don't know if it just came off of cooldown or what it was, but brilliant play from him to realize, you know, Dream's not in this fight yet, Mortrid's not in this fight yet, I need to save this ultimate for a priority target. Found the target, allowed them to get the ace.
Yeah, that was fantastic positioning in the beginning from Wings of Aurora, but then they went for the chase, and then they got reverse collapsed on. I think DGG's really squishiness has kind of lulled them into a false sense of security. They didn't realize how much burst potential that this All Gamers side has. And they also haven't built any MR, to note.
This is
except for
true.
the X-Drinker.
It was a big issue in the fact that, think of where the command Shockwave got used, think of where the Syndra ultimate got used. The Shockwave took out just Morgana, which it was a nice Shockwave, hit her right on the tip for the chase. Obviously, they got overzealous, they kept going in without Dream there.
Without ultimates either.
Exactly, the Syndra ult gets used on Orianna, completely takes out of the fight. So, where would you rather have your R button, on the support or on the AP carry?
Yeah, that's definitely a prioritization problem. So Wings of Aurora, despite their dominating performance game number 1, have pretty much allowed All Gamers to get back into this game. And now they're looking for a pick.
I wouldn't go
Might
that
get
far,
spotted
sir.
out by a ward. It's anybody's game still. I know there's definitely a lead
The
on
issue,
Aurora's side.
all you have to do is you have to look where the gold is. Yes, the gold is relatively close, and I say that with quotation marks because it's a 5k difference at 22 minutes, which is pretty huge. 5-1-3 Jax, 6-1-2 Tristana, and there goes Syndra.
Boom. Okay, so Dream mopping that one up quite quick. And this is why you can't face check anywhere near bushes, apparently not just in bushes anymore. So Aurora are running this jungle for the time being. They're looking to start this Baron up now. 23 minutes, guys. Check my watch. I think it's Baron time. XMM is out of this for just another 20 seconds, but Cat is up with the smite. However, All Gamers don't even want to go and contest this.
It's technically a 50-50 Baron, however. It's harder to steal from the side, and it is going to be free, but Skarner was available. He was level 11, had smite up, so...
Yeah, they look to take this afterwards. A bit of a wonky engage. They found some damage onto Dream and Mortrid, but that was about all they could get out of an explosive cask and a culling, not to mention minions pushing down this bot side as well.
With this, I kind of feel like it's... I mean, obviously, it's close in gold. The Baron gives driver's seat to Wings of Aurora. I still feel like this is their game to lose at this point. They have their hyper carries, super fed at about 20 minutes in the game. What? That's an Ayed Shiv Tristana. She's missed what? She's one Last Whisper away from a core item, and that's what 2,300 gold. So this is almost a core Tristana, which you normally say at 25-30 minutes, running around at 20 minutes in the game with a Baron buff.
Yeah, that's a little bit scary to deal with. They've put the kills onto the right targets. Oriana's also managed to pick up a couple as well. And then, of course, you saw Yodo in the top lane with Jax. There's so many weapons on this Wings of Aurora side that all gamers don't really know who to focus. And they can't get Dream down fast enough because he has so much self-peel. This is what happens when a Tristana gets fed. It's impossible to kill Dream.
Even with the range of Cinderstun kind of going front to back through the team comp, can't catch Tristana. Due to her range, her rocket jump, the buster shot.
He has to frontline himself and not get a kill.
He'd have
not
to
get set to die.
jump into her. Which, you know, could happen.
We've seen it happen. It's happened before. But, there we go. The engage will start up. Yodo actually going to look to dive this tower. Zhao. Oh, he completely misses the explosive cast. Yodo backs away as the culling comes out, mops up a lot of his health, but Flurry can't get the kill out. He just does not have the DPS, and now there's a 4-man push on this top side. Second tier turret. All gamers are scrambling to react to this one, but I don't think they're going to get there in time.
Too many resources expended bottom. Obviously, Lucian and Gragas both down there. No one was in position to stop that free easy tower. See if they'll look for either the mid or the top inhibitor tower. If maybe they'll make a rotation down to Yodo there and look for the last standing second tier bot tower.
They might just do that, but it is completely Wings of Aurora's map right now as they push up on this mid and the bot side. Yodo happy to sustain up through, and he might be able to bait Flurry out here. Says, come at me, bro. Come on, chase me through the jungle. And I don't think he's having any of that. However, he will reconnect with his team for the time being. Flurry's still trying to hold this bot side, but he's getting dangerously close. Yodo, oh! For 1 second, I thought he was going to go full-on dive, but he did not do that.
He was trying... I have to assume that he was trying to bait him as his team was making the rotation over.
Yeah, just a little bit too late. Oh, they get a hook onto Flurry. His health bar evaporates, and that's going to be another kill over to Dream. Cataclysm comes in. Shockwave going to land. This is looking absolutely fantastic for Wings of Aurora. They pick up yet another kill. Leva goes too far forward. He's still alive, however, and they flash in. Sentry gets the flay on. There's Azani's Hourglass, but it's only going to delay the inevitable. XMM goes down. That tower looking dead.
Leva on the 1v2 in the back line with Syndra and Gragas right there. Great zoned control. Did Syndra die with... They lost Stream. I was going to say, where did the Syndra ultimate go? It must have gone on Tristana.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to keep track of these fights as crazy as they have been. So Leva taking up a lot of that damage. They'll get their first inhibitor of the game now. Yo, maybe not. Okay, guys, they mean business. They've got home guards. Let's run away.
They're going really fast. Those aren't champions. Those are race cars. A lot of room to run back to safety. Obviously, they're...
Okay, they've got vision.
Their first tower down. No, gold lead now over 10k. Wings of Aurora looking just as dominant now as they did in the first game. Baron buff slowly ticking away. I believe they only probably have, what, 45 seconds left on this?
Yeah, they've definitely made good use of it, though. Managed to take several towers, several kills, and now a few dragons. This is definitely Wings of Aurora's game to throw down if they want to. I mean, they're really in the lead at this point. Driver's seat big time. You can see Dream just solo pushing mid, and everyone from all gamers is afraid to even react to it.
I will say it's very unique for the Chinese region to get so much done with such an early Baron. Yes, Chinese teams like to Baron relatively soon just because it's almost a crutch for them. Some of them don't even know what to do unless they have Baron. Even if they have like a 20k gold, they're like, oh no, we don't have Baron, we can't end the game. But typically early Barons, like they're just kind of steps back into the game. They'll maybe transfer to 1 or 2 towers, but to take down an inhib tower and to get decent damage on an inhibitor, obviously it's going to heal back up. Pretty special.
Yep. Oh, Leva gonna find Cat around the side. Zhao's there as well, but he's not gonna be able to do a whole lot. Explosive cast can't knock him out of the Cataclysm, and they take down Cat. So one more kill over to the side of Wings of Aurora, and all they really need is a one-man advantage to just go full steam here. Now, they don't have Baron buff anymore, so yeah, you know, maybe it's a little scary. Yodo, he's going to get caught up. Zhao, he's getting chased out. That's a lot of damage, a lot being expended to take him. However, this is going to be an inhibitor for Wings of Aurora in trade for that, and it's still a 1-to-1, so it's 4-man versus 4-man should they try to fight this one. This is still so dangerous for all gamers to try and engage on. They might find Dream. Oh, he flashes away. Nicely done. And there's a coin pop just to make sure they can get out of there alive.
That was super sloppy from Wings of Aurora right there. There was no reason for... I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to do the 4-1 split push and obviously apply double pressure, so that was a free inhib to walk up. The only reason that Wings of Aurora were able to pull that off successfully is because they have Tristana and she's so fed, so she can attack it faster and do more damage. Literally, Yodo was way too overzealous on his positioning and it was completely mistimed. If this was a closer game against a better team, that would not have worked. You saw that all gamers pretty much got in perfect position, but they couldn't engage and they couldn't get the inhibitor just because, you know, Tristan is so fed at this point that she's just able to take it down faster. But I'm not going to give it them. Yeah, they got the inhib, but that was That was a really questionable call. But now Dream going hard on Flurry.
Yep, there's the jump in, and that's going to be the reset. Knock him back. He wants his red buff once again. Buster shot. You can't take me down. Dream says one more kill. It's a 9-2 Tristana on this game. And that is a big part of Wings of Aurora's success, actually.
Look how much
Not the
blood
only
he
part.
wants. He just pinged mid. This is an assassin Tristana right
Thirsty
now.
Yordle. Uh-oh. He's got to be careful, though. He might get caught up in the red side, waiting until just one moment. He almost gets off, and he avoids the ultimate somehow, and they lock up XMM, take him out after the Zhonya's completes. Now Cat going low. Dream still tiniest of health bars, but he stays alive, gets his reset off, and he's a happy Yordle as he jumps away at 10-2. DGG going to go down now to Leva. That's about all you can say there.
She hit the ultimate. She had, I believe, 2 or 3 balls, so it was a decent size Syndra ult right there, the damage coming out. She's just so weak at this point. Now, Flurry just quickly crushed him.
Yep.
That's a surrender.
That's a surrender vote. 30 minutes in, and please make it stop, says AG as they bow out of the Demacia Cup. Wings of Aurora taking it 2-0 in style, and they will face OMG coming up in the round of 16.
And we apologize, guys. Normally we do have, 2 sets of 3 or 2 sets of a best of 3. Unfortunately, I feel like every time we cast Pyra, it's just, it's always a bye, and we just get one set of 3.
Well, we're going to go into the round of 16 after this, so we can actually talk about who's going to be playing and when, now that we have a little bit of time on the back of that match. So coming up on the 4th of August, it's going to be Starhorn Royal Club taking on Invictus Gaming in the first round of 16 match. But before that, of course, the last round of 32 match will be between World Elite Academy and KX Happy, and that, of course, is on the 28th of this month, so 1 week from today. After that, of course, Vici Gaming S and Energy Pacemaker Carry, I'm kind of going like backwards and forwards in time, are going to be taking each other on immediately following that Starhorn Royal Club and Invictus Gaming match. And, of course, the winners of those 2 games will face each other way later on. Do you want to tell us who's playing after that?
I don't have the bracket in front of me.
I tried to hand it off. It didn't work. That's okay.
I was going to throw
King
the...
and EDG on the 11th of August. That's another round of 16 matchup. And then, of course, we have MD and Clan taking on each other on the same day, next round. After that, on the 18th, it's Positive Energy and World Elite, and Snake and RM. RM actually being the team that knocked out LGD of the Demacia Cup in the round of 32.
I was going to do the too long didn't read. We are now moving on to the second round, which means that a lot of the weaker teams have already kind of been weeded out. Obviously, the teams that won the playoffs, IG, World Elite, OMG, and EDG, all got buys into this round, so this will be the first time that we'll see them compete in the Demacia Cup. Again, the Demacia Cup, not for any sort of... There's no invitation to Worlds here. There's no circuit points. This is literally just for the prize, the first prize, and the bragging rights. A big chunk
time
of,
bragging rights.
Exactly, a big chunk of change up for grabs as well. So.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, well, before we get into round of 16, like I said, there's one more round of 32 match coming up in the next week. So, guys, we will see you then. That will, of course, be... the one match for next week, but once we get into the next round of 16, there'll be quite a lot more to go, so please tune back in for the Demacia Cup, always Mondays at, I believe it varies between the times, but typically about the same time as you caught it tonight.
And you're absolutely right. With me, Frosco, I get to do the sign-outs. I never get to do this.
There we go.
Again, this was Demacia Cup coverage on LPL EN. I'm Frostgren, joined with me by Pyrotechnics on my play-by-play desk. What shout-outs? I never do the sign-outs. Why did you give me this responsibility? I feel like Spider-Man right now.
It's okay. Way too much responsibility for Frostgren. So, guys, thanks once again for tuning in. You've been watching the LPL English channel, but, of course, it was Demacia Cup coverage this evening. And, of course, tune back in this Friday at 1 a.m. Pacific, 4 a.m. Eastern Time for the next LPL matches. You won't want to miss those. Once again, we're signing out this evening, this morning, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next time.
最近直播做的也是蛮多的啊，大家多多支持一下。
大家可以来看一下。
对，你是打 rank 吗？直播？
打 rank， 单排哦。
强什么分段？我能问一下吗？
什么分段？
什么分段就不说了。
好，
好吧，
看来不是最强王者就是钻11了，大家一定要围观妹子的房间。
对，大家多
要给大家
多看一下。
点信心嘛，所以我就不说了。
好好，那大家的话多多看我们这个 TGA 平台的直播了，不光是每周一有德玛西亚杯，而且大家记住点我们这个官方房间的订阅。
对，
就官方房间是可以这样。